Hi, I'm Dr. Alfred Surenyan, and I'd like to talk a little bit about my lessons in music composition, music theory, and also music production. Now, I've been teaching both at the college level as well as the secondary level for over 25 years and privately on all of these subjects. I've been teaching music production, well, music technology, but it's music production for about 15 to 20 years actually. And of course, music theory and music composition, since I'm a composer, that is my specialty, and I've been teaching that as well. So I just want to discuss a little bit about what I teach and how I teach it and a little bit of a description. Now, let's start off with music theory. Music theory is something that everyone is scared of. It's nothing to be scared about. It's just the language of music. And we technically are not teaching music theory, which the advanced thing is where it's about analyzing the music and talking about and everything. We're talking about basically the fundamentals of music theory, which is reading the notes, reading the forms, reading how music is structured. This is very important to know because the more you know about the structure of the music and being able to read the notes, the better you are at being able to creating music. Because it's like writing a book. If you're an author, you have to know the language that you're writing in. So that's the same thing when it comes to music. Music theory is the language of music. So that's a very important aspect. Now, it's also important for a performer to be able to know this. It's an understanding as well. Being able to read the notes, read the music. Of course, I incorporate it into my lessons in piano, but I also teach it separately. Now, I will teach students from way at the beginning all the way to an advanced level, since I do advanced music theory as well. Now, the thing is, if a student has never had any music theory lessons, this is what I like to use. It's backwards over there from where you see it, but it's the Alfred's Essential Music Theory Complete. Now, this is in 3 different major sections, and it starts at the very, very beginning. Now, if a student has never learned any music theory at all, I'll start them with the units and the lessons at the beginning, or I'll move around to wherever they need to learn. But I don't just stick to this when it comes to private lessons. I will also use other kinds of materials. And for children, I don't do music theory by itself. Music theory for children is incorporated with their lessons in the musical instrument because you need to keep them engaged. This is for basically 15, 16 years old and older when it comes to music theory. And also, students who take music theory classes, they need to have some extra lessons. I am available for that as well. I will help them with their music theory lessons, writing 4-part harmony, which is part of music theory in college. So I will essentially do a lot of those helping in that respect too, form and analysis, so all different levels. Now, musical composition is very different than music theory. Music theory is just the ideas and fundamentals. When it comes to music composition, that's a whole different area. Music composition or music theory that we teach in school, it's based on the period of common practice, traditional harmony, whereas there's been a lot of different types of way of composing. And so therefore, I will start off with the basics and then move on to other areas of composition as well, depending on students' individual needs. Basically, I will show about the construction of a melodic line. A melodic line is basically a language. And so I will teach about how to construct a melodic line and then how to harmonize it traditionally and maybe even something untraditional. And of course, going to other types of directions as well. So there's a lot to music composition. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no one way of teaching it, and there's no one way of talking or discussing about it. And so therefore, I will help the student on all of the different aspects of it when it comes to music composition. Orchestration is a whole different world. Orchestration people think orchestration, like composing for the symphony orchestra, is the same thing as composing. It's not. The composition could be taken and could be orchestrated for a full orchestra, or it could be orchestrated for a small ensemble. That's called orchestration or instrumentation or arranging. So you take a melody and the chords, and then you orchestrate it for a full orchestra or for a small ensemble or even for a rock band. That is a different aspect and concept which I can help students with. And this here is something where you have to know instruments, how the instruments work, and the ranges of the instruments, the strengths of the instruments. And so it's a whole different art form that composers know. There's a lot of composers who earn a living as just being an orchestrator, film scores. The composer does not orchestrate the music. What they basically do is compose the music, give a shorthand, and then they give it to a composer who is an orchestrator, and then they'll orchestrate it depending on how the composer wanted. They just don't have enough time because they're doing a lot of work on scoring for the film. So an orchestrator will take it up basically with their shorthand notes and then creating a larger area of it. And also orchestration, you can take something old or something that's already been done in one way and orchestrate it for a different group. Such as me, what I do a lot of times is I'll take folk music and I'll orchestrate it for a full orchestra, especially for when I compose something for my own personal orchestra, but I'll do it for others as well. So that's a whole different area. Now, here on my computer, you see Logic Pro. Logic Pro is something that you can use for composing, yes, and I will use that in composition, but it's also part of music production. This here is a very powerful digital audio workstation that uses MIDI and audio combining together, and with that, you can create a whole piece of music. So music production is something that I work with students who already are composing, who are already creating their music, and I will show them how to use basically the digital audio workstation on how to create the music, mix it, and put in all the plugins, and then bounce it down to an audio file, both a WAV file and also converting it into other file formats, especially MP3, which is the best one for online. So I will teach all of that aspects. And remember this, all of this I can teach grouped up together for students. A package deal where music production is part of the composition, and also music composition I will teach it with Logic Pro as well, because it is a powerful composing tool. It has also interesting things like it has a drummer in it. It's literally, I think there's a little drummer in there. You can have a drummer doing a lot of different drum beats, different genres, different styles. And it also has a drum machine. So the drum machine works in a different way, literally for someone that wants to be composing hip hop. They can create beats with this as well. So I will also show on how to do that in these lessons. And also for the beginning student, I don't use Logic all the time. For basically a 15, 16-year-old, when I taught high school on music production, I used GarageBand. Also for the older students too. GarageBand is a very simplified version of Logic Pro, and I use that as well for students. And the reason why I use that is because it comes with the Mac computer. It comes with the iMac as well as the MacBook Pro. I believe it also comes with the iPad. I don't think it comes with the iPad, but it's only like $5 to download. So there's the iPad version, which I can of course as well incorporate into lessons. It does a few different things that the computer version doesn't do that could be integrated into the lessons as well. So it's basically music production, music composition. There's no one strict way. I take every student's individual needs, and then I take that and then I go with that on helping the student on what they want to achieve. If it's a singer-songwriter, which is what I'm not, but I can help a singer-songwriter on being able to use Logic Pro to record their music in, to putting backing arrangements into that, and then creating a file that they can use to literally sell online if they wanted to, or stream it online, or whatever they want to do with it. So that's something I can do for a singer-songwriter, for somebody that does rock and roll, that somebody does dance music even. Yeah, I mean, it's all the same thing. Music is music. And I've actually also taught hip-hop students very much, because there's a lot of similarities in all the music that I can help every single student. So everyone is different. I'm very flexible. I listen to the student, what their needs are, and I put the package together for them. If they want music theory, I will, of course, use this book depending on what they want to learn. And also music notation. Music notation is also another very important part of it, aspect. And I will teach students on how to create their scores, basically. A score, if they want to have a score as well, to be able to have other musicians play as well. So all of this is in the package on music composition lessons, music theory lessons, music production. I just want to be able to help the student reach their goal. That is the whole purpose of it, and that's how the lessons are designed. Now these lessons are weekly, 1 hour, or I will also teach 2-hour blocks, because there's so much in there sometimes that, except for music theory once 1 hour a week is the best. But when it comes to music production, there's so much going there. So I will teach 2-hour blocks as well. And these lessons are very easily taught online as well as in person. So I have both options, and I can teach students from all over the world, whoever wants to have these lessons. So go to the website, www.pashamusic.com, and go down to lessons and look at the details and everything, and contact me, and I will help you on achieving your goals.